Alright folks, you asked for it for years and I apologize for taking this long. Better late than never, but never late is better, right? So here's your complete follow along mobility video where I'm going to walk you through every single rep so you can just press play, listen to my monotone voice, improve your mobility, and feel freaking great. Let's get right to it. Most exercises we're doing is 5 to 10 reps each side and I will talk you through it. The first exercise is a kneeling side bend stretch. This is fantastic movement for opening up your obliques, lats, and hip flexors while improving overall spinal mobility. Start by kneeling on the floor with your knees hip width apart. Keep your torso tall and engage your core to maintain stability. Place both hands behind your head and slowly begin to bend one side as far as you can while keeping your hips squared and stable. 10 reps total here. Next up, we're moving on to ankle mobility with a seated ankle stretch. If you have stiff ankles or experience discomfort in deep squats, this is a must-have in your routine. Start by sitting on your heels with your shins and the tops of your feet flat on the floor. Keep your torso upright and place your hands on the ground beside you. If this feels too intense, you can slightly lean forward to reduce the stretch. For an even deeper stretch though, you can place your hands on your knees and gently press down. We're doing 10 reps here. If you struggle with ankle flexibility in deep squats or feel stiffness in your lower legs after running or walking, this is a great way to open up the ankle joint and improve range of motion. We're going to move into a deep squat with a prayer stretch here, one of the best mobility drills for improving hip, ankle, and lower back flexibility. You're going to start by having your feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly turned out, lower yourself into a deep squat, keeping your heels flat on the ground. If you can't do a full squat without your heels coming off the ground, use a towel or plates and place them under your heels. Bring your hands together in a prayer position and use your elbows to gently press your knees outward. Maintain an upright chest and avoid collapsing forward. We're doing 10 reps here. Now let's take our deep stretch to a next level by adding a higher reach. This movement improves thoracic mobility while reinforcing hip and ankle flexibility. Start in a deep squat position, keeping your heels flat and your chest lifted. Place one elbow inside your knee, using it to gently push your knee outward. With your opposite arm, reach up toward the ceiling, following your hand with your eyes to enhance spinal rotation. Hold for a couple seconds, then switch sides, alternating for 5 reps per side. Breathe deeply, focusing on keeping your hips open and your chest proud. Now we're moving into a deep shoulder stretch that opens up the upper back and lats. This is a great movement for improving overhead mobility and releasing tension in your shoulders. Start in the child's pose position, then widen your knees slightly while keeping your toes together. Extend your arms forward as far as possible and lower your chest towards the floor. Keep your palms flat and actively reach forward to deepen the stretch. If you want an even deeper stretch, press your chest down while keeping your hips back. Then you're going to raise your head up in neutral position and as high as you can until you feel a stretch in your shoulders and traps. We're doing 10 reps here. Now let's loosen up the hips with this dynamic stretch. This movement, often called frog rocks, is excellent for opening up hip adductors, groin, and inner thighs while improving hip mobility. You're going to start in a quadruped position on all fours, then widen your knees as much as comfortably possible while keeping your feet in line with your knees. Keep your toes pointed outward and your hips in neutral position. From here, slowly rock your hips forward, bringing them to the floor, and then rock back, shifting your weight towards your heels. As you move, keep your spine neutral and focus on feeling the stretch in your hips and inner thighs. Repeat for 10 controlled reps, focusing on your breathing. Sorry for the view, guys. I just want to show you what your leg position should look like from the back, LOL. And if this feels too intense, keep your knees a little closer together or reduce the forward range of motion. The next movement is the world's greatest stretch, and we're adding a knee push out, a threading the needle, and a high reach to maximize hip, spine, and shoulder mobility. Start in a deep lunge position with your front foot planted with your back leg extended straight behind you. Place your inside hand on the ground for support, and with your other hand, gently push your knee outward to open up the hip. Hold for a second and then return to neutral. Next, take your outside arm and thread it under your supporting arm, reaching as far as you can while rotating your torso down. Pause for a second, feeling the stretch in your upper back and obliques, and then return. Now reverse the movement by extending your arm up toward the ceiling, following your hand with your eyes. Keep your chest open and take a deep breath at the top. Hold for a second and then return to starting position. We're doing 5 reps here. And from here, we're staying with the same side and transitioning from the lunge into a hamstring stretch, which will help improving flexibility and mobility in the hamstring and calves. From the lunge position, start by straightening your front leg while keeping your hands on the ground for support. Shift your hips backward and up while maintaining your front foot planted between your hands. If you feel too much tension here, slightly bend your front knee to reduce the stretch intensity. We're doing 5 reps here. Our next movement is the pigeon stretch, and we're adding a forward crawl into the pigeon child's pose to really open up the hips, glutes, and lower back. Start in a lunge position, then bring your front leg across the body, placing your shin on the ground. Keep your back leg extended straight behind you with your hips squared forward. Sit tall first to feel the stretch in your glutes and hip flexors. From here, slowly walk your hands forward and your chest towards the ground. Try to rest your forehead down and sink deeper into the stretch. To come out, walk your hands back up and switch legs. We're doing 5 reps here. If you feel any knee discomfort, try pulling your front foot closer to your hips to reduce the angle. The second last stretch is the cat-cow stretch, one of the best movements to mobilize the spine, improve posture, and relieve tension in the back. Start in a tabletop position with your hands directly under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, round your back, tuck your chin, and push your spine towards the ceiling. This is the cat stretch. Now inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, and slightly tilt your pelvis forward. This is the cow stretch. Continue alternating between these two positions, moving your breath along with 10 total reps. Our final stretch is the couch stretch, one of the best exercises for improving hip flexor and quadriceps mobility. We'll add a slight forward lunge to deepen the stretch here. Start by placing your back foot on a bench or couch with your knee on the ground. Keep your front foot forward, forming a 90-degree angle at the knee. Engage your core and maintain an upright posture to feel the stretch in your hip flexors and quads. For a deeper stretch, gently lunge forward, pushing your hips down while keeping your chest tall. We're doing 5 reps per side here. If you spend a lot of time sitting, guys, your hip flexors are likely tight. This stretch helps counteract the tightness and improve squat depth and lower body mobility. Boom, you did it. A A full body routine that takes less than 10 minutes, if done daily, will guarantee you feel and move like a totally different person. Your lifts will be better, you'll have less aches and stiffness, and you will move fluidly throughout life. Please, guys, share this with someone who complains about being stiff all the time, and make sure to hit that like button if you genuinely enjoyed it, and comment which exercise you like or dislike the most. See you guys.